So we're going to quickly take a closer look at again another interesting problem within the derivatives of trig functions, and this is the problem: find the derivative of the square root of cosine of x. This is very interesting. How best are we going to differentiate this? So remember, the derivative of the square root of cosine of x mathematically is the same as to say the derivative of cosine of x in brackets to the power of half. Remember, the square root of a certain number is the same as that number to the power of half. So how are we going to differentiate this? Remember from the chain rule that if I'm trying to find the derivative of a certain function raised to a certain power, what we have to do is to bring down the power, multiply by the derivative of the function that is there, the derivative of f of x, right? And multiply again by that function which is f of x, but this time around subtract 1 from the power. So by the end of the day, we get n times f of x prime times f of x, but to the power of n minus 1. So that will be the solution. So let's try to apply that rule straight away in this particular case and see what we get on the derivative of the square root of cosine of x, which is analogous to cosine of x to the power of half. So here, what is going on? We have a certain function raised to a certain power. So what we have to do, we have to bring down the power, then we multiply by the derivative of cosine of x, and then we have to keep cosine of x, but we subtract 1 from the power, which is 1 over 2 minus 1. So by the end of the day, we get 1 over 2. What is the derivative of cosine of x? We get negative sine x times what is cosine of x to the power of what? What is 1 over 2 minus 1? We get minus 1 over 2. Let's try to write this problem a bit smart. 1 over 2 times minus sine x, we get minus sine x over 2. Right? What about cosine of x to the power of minus half? Is the same as 1 over the square root of cosine of x. So if you multiply these fractions, we get negative sine x divided by 2 root of cosine of x. Yes, that's what we get as our final solution. This is indeed quite interesting. Particularly this result, you need to put this result on your fingertips. As we use this result to find the derivatives of many problems. Imagine if you try to think of the powers of sine x, maybe the derivative of sine cubed of x. So any function raised to a certain power, use this result. Whether it's ln of x to the power of 7, whether it's cosine of x to the power of 20, whether it's any function raised to a certain power, the derivative of any function that raised to a certain power, using the chain rule, this is the result. Bring down the power, multiply by the derivative of that function, keep that function, and subtract 1 from the power. Awesome and straightforward. Don't get lost. This is amazing. Oh.